I'm gonna be the most jacked guy on Everest. My name is Brady. I'm a men's physique athlete, a coach, a mentor, a business owner, and my life motto is be uncommon. Welcome to my new series, From Stage to Summit, as I not only try to maintain top bodybuilding shape, but also dive into a hybrid style of training that is going to transform my body into a mountain athlete that I need to be in order to trek for 2 weeks through the Himalayas to the base camp of Mount Everest. A nice smooth 6 miles. Honestly, the sun's coming out a little bit right now, but God bless us, man. It was actually a bit cloudy, which in Arizona, you don't get the clouds too often, and it is definitely warming up very, very quickly here. We got up 4 a.m., hit this run, because today it's gonna be about 110 degrees, and we're not running in 110 degrees around here, but feeling good, guys. I mean, I really like these runs because you can feel the banging on your knees, your ankles. It's very dynamic of a terrain. It causes you to have to shift your weight and be really like reactive, which I think just has so much specificity to what I'm trying to do in the long run. What's funny about Arizona is like my back of my shirt is like drenched in sweat, but when you're running, you barely sweat at all because it just evaporates literally instantly. So I actually like am drenched. My shirt is drenched, but nothing on me is wet at all because it's just like, it's just gone. It's very deceiving. So pro tip, if you're in Arizona, you're running, drink a lot of water, even if you don't think you're sweating, because technically you definitely are. But I think babe's behind the camera right now. I think we should take him in on our little post-run tradition we got going on here.
But it's a secret.
We have arrived, so we're at QT, aka Quick Trip if you don't know, and we're gonna go get some energy drinks. Now, this is such a special little treat because when you're new to running and you're going on longer runs, you gotta be able to have a prize at the end, you know, something to look forward to. But rather than being like the average person and treating ourselves with like a donut, we still got macros to hit, calories to not go over. So our prize after our long runs on Saturdays on the trails is an energy drink because we're addicted. So we're gonna go get some fun energy drinks. We like to try new flavors, and let's see what they got today. Okay, it's like Christmas morning, you guys. So Maddie went with the rainbow sherbet rain, which is actually pretty good. I don't ever buy rains personally, but I like when Maddie does because then I can try a little bit.
They're really sweet, so it's hard to finish the whole thing, but they're so good.
Yeah. And then we both got Liquid Death hydration / they're cool. Here you go, babe. And then my two options. So I tried First Form energy drinks for the first time a few days ago, and they're pretty good. I like to, you know, just mix it up and try something new. So I got the Citrus Blast and the Screaming Freedom. Probably gonna go with this one. I'm feeling pretty patriotic today.
Why?
I don't know. I think this is summertime vibes.
Happy June.
I don't know. We're just in God's country, you know, running around, hitting trails. It just feels right. I'm gonna give you guys a taste test. This is a 5-sip review, so it's not a 1-sip review. It's good, tastes good, nothing phenomenal, nothing crazy good or anything like that, but it is good. I'd say an 8 out of 10. Post-run meal, we have a nice breakfast sandwich with chicken, egg whites, cheese, avocado, nice whole wheat bread. So this is pretty high protein. This is gonna be about 60 grams of protein. I already had a lot of carbs today with my Go bar and also my Go gel that I had during my run. So I tried to keep the carbs kind of lower. Post-show update, guys, I'm officially past the 3-week mark. We're doing pretty solid. We're sticking to the plan pretty dang well. If you follow my Instagram, I do a lot of physique updates there, especially because I'm still post-show. I'm trying to take you on that journey post-show. Currently, I'm somewhere up in the ballpark of 5 to maybe 7 pounds, 3 weeks post-show, so I'm feeling really good about it and excited to hit that 1 month mark here soon. Training wise though, that is what this video is about. So I'm actually gonna take you through my entire training program that I'm using to get ready for Everest Base Camp as a bodybuilder. I'm taking you through everything, guys. This is that video. Okay, so I'm gonna eat this and then I'm gonna meet you in my office. We're gonna do a little chat. Okay, before we get into things, I gotta show you a little sneak peek because Tua, my company, does have a launch coming this month. We have some dope t-shirts. These are t-shirts I am like so excited for, you guys. They perfectly represent what our company is all about doing hard things across the spectrum of fitness, whether you're a hybrid athlete, a runner, a bodybuilder, powerlifter, doesn't matter. And the shirts just totally reflect that. But that is still top secret, but you guys will be the first to know, I promise. The hats though, that we're launching, these are not top secret. And in fact, I've been wearing these. I've been field testing them for a while now, and these are so epic, you guys. So we're gonna do this nice, I don't know what to call this, kind of like a more deserty camo, I guess you could say. Then the all black TUA, hopefully that's in focus. And then the one I'm wearing now, which is more of like the forest camo. I was kind of going back and forth between these two camos. If you can kind of like see the difference, you probably can't because it's camo, so it's actually invisible. I just love them both too much, and we're like, okay, we're just gonna do them both. So anyway, you can expect these to launch sometime this month. Follow on Instagram for like the faster paced updates, but I'm gonna try to let you guys see the sneak peek here on YouTube first because I love my YouTube fam. Okay, you guys, we get to nerd out for a second now and talk about my exact programming that I'm using to go from just a bodybuilder to a bodybuilding mountain athlete hybrid extraordinaire. And I'm so excited to talk about this, number one, because I really am a huge nerd when it comes to programming and fitness and all that stuff. I mean, yes, you know, when I went to college, I studied exercise physiology with an emphasis in program design. In case you're new here, I actually teach. I'm an accredited educator in the fitness space. I have an entire certification that is accredited by the National Academy of Sports Medicine and also the International Sports Science Association. On top of that, I've been coaching for the last decade of my life. I've been full-time for about half of that. I also own a company called Tua, Take Uncommon Action, and we coach individuals to become the most elite versions of themselves, whether they are athletes or just lifestyle, whatever. Within Tua, we coach lots of bodybuilders, we coach lots of hybrid athletes, runners, the whole spectrum, and also lots and lots and lots of lifestyle people, like I mentioned. When it comes to this, like, I absolutely love this topic, and this is such a fascinating goal because it's not just one-dimensional, it's not one modality. I have put my entire focus into bodybuilding the last 3+ years specifically so I can, you know, see how far I can go in the sport, and bodybuilding still remains a top priority for me. But now it's like, okay, how can I do that and thrive in any mountain condition? Real quick, I kind of want to build it up, kind of like my thought process behind it. And so I'm really focused on full spectrum fitness here. That's the best way to put it. You know, you have bodybuilding and hypertrophy, you have, you know, strength training, you have endurance, and it's like, how can I become my best at all three of those? Now, it's really important to remember that because of something called the SAID principle, which is a physiological principle when it comes to sports and athletics, it stands for specific adaptations to imposed demands. Essentially, it's just a rule saying that your body's going to adapt to whatever type of stimulus you throw its way. And so if you train like a bodybuilder, eventually you're going to start looking like a bodybuilder. If you train like a runner, eventually you're going to become, you know, a lot more good at endurance, and you're going to start even looking like a runner. Runners don't need giant biceps and, you know, big shoulders, and so typically speaking, runners do end up a little smaller, less muscular, because their bodies are going to adapt in the way necessary for them to improve at that imposed demand that is on their bodies. This is why balancing a hybrid style of training can be very difficult. You are probably not going to be the best bodybuilder that you can be if you're also, running 20, 30, 50 miles a week. You're not going to be the best runner you can be if you're also trying to do a bunch of other things on the bodybuilding end. There's balance in all things, and so what we're doing, especially with Intua, is trying to master that balance so that when we do have hybrid athletes coming around, we can do it. Full spectrum fitness, I'm very focused on my bodybuilding. I have a certain amount of volume at a certain amount of intensity for each muscle group that I'm trying to hit every single week so I can, at the bare minimum, maintain my muscle mass. But if I can end up actually growing a little bit along the journey, hey, I'll go for it. I'll try that. Somewhere else on the spectrum, we have strength. Now, bench press might not be that specific to, getting better at something like trying to get to Everest Base Camp or trekking all these tall mountains, but it's something I care about personally, so I am going to try to develop my strength as well. Specifically in the bench press, but kind of everywhere. And then endurance. So endurance, I will be running, I will be hiking, I'll be doing plenty of those things because at the end of the day, you're not going to get to Everest Base Camp if you have no true endurance. And another little aspect too is just like the rough and tough tear on your body, trekking up tall mountains, rugged terrain, different types of, weather, whatever it is. There's all sorts of different variables there that you have to be tough. Your ankles have to be well supported. Your knee joints have to be able to withstand all that, banging around. And so I think that my program has been developed in a way that's going to help me optimize all those things. Lastly, I'm trying to optimize my different types of energy output. So we have like our phosphorus, we have our anaerobic, and we have our aerobic energy sources, essentially, a way to put it. Our phosphorus is like, think about power, your power output. Anaerobic, think about, hypertrophy in something shorter term, but strength and hypertrophy based, being able to, lift heavy weights for 10, 15 reps, things like that. And then of course you have your aerobic, which is your ability to basically be an endurance athlete, run far distances, row, bike, whatever, all that is aerobic. It's your lung and your heart capacity for aerobic exercise. And so I'm also focusing my program on optimizing all three of those at the same time. It is not easy to do, but it is possible. And if you create an intelligently designed program or do what your coach tells you, if you hire a coach, like a Tua coach like us, we'll get it to you straight and we'll tell you exactly what to do. So without further ado, this is my exact program. I'm gonna pull it up because I have it on my phone. Or another thing I wanna say too is that my program is going to change over time. Right now I'm like 16 weeks out. As I get closer to my dates of flying to Nepal and conquering the Himalayas, I'm going to make my training more specific. Right now, I'm literally going into week 3. I will improve my program as I go. I'll adapt in certain ways. If I have to pull back on my hypertrophy a little bit, maybe I'll have to. Maybe I could push my hypertrophy training further. Maybe my strength needs to be adjusted. Maybe my aerobic work needs to be adjusted. My mileage per week, volume, running, things like that. All that can be adjusted with time, but this is my base program I have right now. I call this phase 1 of my stage to summit training. So here we go. Monday, I start the day with a 2-mile run. Almost all my runs right now are zone 2, so very easy. The purpose of it is to build my aerobic capacity and also just kind of like get a lot more volume on my legs, basically build up the mileage in my legs. After that, I usually take a break, whatever. It's also my power bench press day. So I'll do something like a 1x1 at a 90%. I'm basing my percentages off of roughly where my 1 rep max is right now, but that will also be adjusted as I continue through the program, slowly build up. And then I do a little bit of volume work for my bench press, but it's still pretty heavy, around 75 to 80%, and that also builds up and progresses over time. I then do chest and arms for hypertrophy, pure bodybuilding work. I go in there, I feel like a bodybuilder, have a really good time. It's awesome. I love my Monday workouts. Tuesday, mostly hypertrophy work, but we're doing delts and back on Tuesday. Lots and lots of volume for my delts and my back. And then we actually do a Metcon, so metabolic conditioning, like kind of like a HIIT circuit. I aim for 4 to 5 rounds. That'll build up over time. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm trying to improve my VO2 max. Now there's a couple of ways to improve your VO2 max. One way would be something like a HIIT workout. Also just aerobic exercise in general, my zone 2 running, even if I do zone 3 running, that will also increase my aerobic capacity, also my VO2 max. Those are all very important aspects in being well adapted and adapt easier to high elevations, which is going to be a huge challenge for me. And then I do 20 minutes of incline treadmill. Now this is a little bit more specific because that incline is going to replicate my conditions means while I'm hiking, you know, I'm gonna be walking at an incline. It's very simple to understand that. But I do that for about 20 minutes. And again, that is something that might increase over time. Wednesdays, my dynamic leg days. Really like my leg days right now. They're a lot different than my bodybuilding workouts because at the end of the day, I don't care about getting jacked quads for, you know, going up Everest Base Camp. That's not the goal here. My goal is to make my legs really strong, resilient to injury, and athletic. So I'm actually a lot more focused on the posterior chain than I am the anterior chain of my legs. Again, my quads, they're strong, they're in shape, they're built, they're there. I am gonna work my quads a little bit, but it's gonna be through more specificity, something like a walking lunge or a split squat, something that like really is great for a runner and a hiker to do. Other than that, all my work is mostly on my hamstrings, my glutes. Hamstrings are a common injury for runners, hikers. I want them to be strong. I want them to be tough and be able to handle a lot. Also my glutes, I'm working my glutes a ton right now. I actually have a lot of front hip pain from my hip flexors. And so by strengthening my glutes and also my core, I'm able to kind of combat that and be more reliant and be able to kind of trust and rely on my posterior chain a lot more. At that point, I will also do some sort of sprint and or incline treadmill. Again, sprint, just a good way to get the legs more in shape. Also, you know, increase VO2 max. And then again, the incline treadmill is just very specific to my training. Thursday, I have a 3-mile run. Again, this is usually a zone 2 run, and then I have my bench press volume day. On a day like this, I'm doing something more about 70% of my 1 RM. I'm doing you know, reps around 8, sets between 3 to 5 sets. It's just a volume day for me to focus mostly on technique, to build that neurological muscular connection so that I can bench press a whole lot of weight here in the coming months. I then go to another chest and arms hypertrophy session. Friday looks very similar to Tuesday. It's delts and back hypertrophy. Then I do 4 to 5 rounds of a Metcon, followed by 20 minutes of incline treadmill. So basically the same thing. Saturday is my trail run day specifically. This is also my long run day. So lately it's been about 6 miles. I'm gonna start building up slowly. Next week I have 6.5. After that I have 7, and it's gonna keep building up until we get to a special challenge that I have yet to announce. So a little Easter egg there. And that's it. Sunday's a full rest day for me. I do nothing. Now my weekly mileage so far, the most I've gotten up to is 14 miles per week. That was this week because I actually threw in an additional tempo run. But then next week I go back down to 11.5 and then I build up to 12, and then you kind of see the picture. I'll start building up the mileage there. Hypertrophy, again, I'm trying to keep that pretty much the same. Hypertrophy is really cool in the aspect where you don't constantly have to add more volume or more intensity every single week. You can actually stay put at a really great range and you're gonna see a lot of gains from it. So that's my goal, is to kind of hold steady there. And if it's working, it's working. I'm not touching it. Strength wise, yeah, that's when things are going to change a little bit. I'm going to have a lot of volume. It's going to peak my strength. As I decrease volume and increase intensity, then I'm actually going to go back and then introduce more volume and then slowly again increase the intensity while lowering the volume again. Basically a typical peaking strategy. But what's so cool is I'm running all this simultaneously. So the balance is epic. Nutrition does play a huge part in this. So if I need to make a nutrition video, let me know. But that is essentially my entire plan right now. That is phase 1 of my Stage to Summit programming. If you want to train like me, I do train people. Come on to Tua, I can coach you. What I'll add is if you're a little bit more advanced than me, because at the end of the day, although I love the hybrid style of training, if I were to consider myself a hybrid athlete, I'm definitely more of a bodybuilding hybrid athlete. A hybrid bodybuilder, you could call me. If you're more balanced within the hybrid world, or even more so on the running side, I would highly, highly recommend working with Coach Amanda, who is our hybrid and endurance specialist. She is incredible and such a beast. I can help you with a little bit more beginner stuff if you're similar to my position. I definitely specialize more in strength and hypertrophy. But yeah, if you're more on the other side of that spectrum, but you want to do it all, work with Amanda. That's what I gotta say about that, guys. I cannot wait to continue to take you on this journey. Good morning. It is 6-something in the morning. It's time to do something uncomfortable and something hard, aka cold plunge. So let's get in this bad boy. It is surprisingly pretty warm here in Arizona. It's so weird. I'm used to like having to suffer through and do this when it's like 40 degrees and dark, but now the sun comes up super early and it's kind of warm, but it's still gonna suck. So, all right. Looking nice and cold, and I don't know why I do this to myself. Oh yeah. I will say I've already gotten better again at it compared to before, and then I took a break and then I started sucking at it again. Now I'm getting better, but it's still very cold. The specificity of this to bodybuilding was basically non-existent, but there actually is a little specificity to this when it comes to doing Everest Base Camp and being cold adapted. Almost a minute 30 now. That's pretty much all I wanted to do, but feeling good, guys. We're getting adapted, we're getting tough again, we're doing hard things in the morning. That's what it's all about. Okay, while my shirt's off, this is the perfect time to do a physique update. I'm officially over 3 weeks past show day, past nationals. We are 23 days post show. Now time to get a towel on me, I'm freezing. Overall, feeling great post-show. My weight really changes a lot every single day, so I actually do my official weigh-in tomorrow, and we'll let my coach know everything. But I am roughly in the ballpark of 4 to 7 pounds above stage weight right now. It does fluctuate a lot, but I'd say that's pretty good. Like 4 to 7 pounds up. I'm really proud of that. I've tried to stick to my plan as closely as possible. The days that I'm not hitting my macros on my refeed days, when I do a calorie only day, and that tends to make my weight kind of fluctuate quite a bit with all the, you know, extra weird stuff and sodium that I'd get on a date night. But overall, like, hey, dude, I'll take it. Some guys gain 20 pounds in 3 days, and I'm still under 10 pounds after almost a month. So we're rocking it. Well, I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. I really, when it comes down to the programming of things, I really nerd out. That is my favorite stuff. That's why I went to school for physiology and for program design and everything. But there was actually someone who was a huge inspiration for me when it came to opening up my mind a little bit more to the programming possibilities and why I'm running so much. And I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that don't fully understand the carryover of trail running and what that has to do with trekking, because yes, they're different. Why am I spending so much time running when I should be doing, I don't know, like Stairmaster or investing more time in the mountains or whatever it is? And the way I see it is like I'm so focused on the big picture here, not the one-dimensional specificity, but the bigger picture. And that person that inspired me a lot when it came to this was Cameron Haynes, the bow hunter. And it's so funny because he's an incredible runner. He runs very far, very often. For a time, I believe he was running like a marathon a day. And if you ask him like how long he's been a runner for, or, you know, to talk about his running career, he usually says like, oh, I'm not a runner, I'm a bow hunter. And I just think that's so funny because he's out here outrunning many runners. But the reason he does that is because it makes him a better bow hunter. And even he gets hate for that because the hunting community is torn. They're like, why? You don't need to be that physically fit to go just put a bow through an animal's heart, you know? You don't have to go run 30 miles a day. But he sees the bigger picture. He sees what it takes to get out and find the best wild animals in the best locations. He wants to be out there and in the crazy spots that no one else is. He knows what it takes to then kill the animal, pack it up, and what it takes to get it back home. And it is a lot that goes into that. My goal for Mount Everest Base Camp is not to survive. It's not to walk into camp after puking my guts out for 3 days from elevation sickness and having porters carry every ounce of weight that was on my back, and to show up 3 days late because I couldn't handle the acclimatization and I wasn't fit enough. But hey, at least I got up there, and then to, you know, purchase a helicopter to fly me out. That is not the goal of this. It is not to get to survive to base camp. It is to thrive in that situation and to take on this new identity, this new role, and explore this new world. And so for that, I'm focused on the full spectrum fitness here. I need to be strong enough to carry my own weight. I need to be fit enough to get there and to muscle my way to the top. And then the endurance side, I need to be truly fit, have the heart and lung capacity to be in those high elevations. I need to be tough enough. It's like my body has to be tough enough. So if I put it through the ringer, I run, I hammer my joints, I master the trails, that will make me a better trekker to get to Everest Base Camp and thrive. I'm focused very much on the full picture. So with that being said, thank you so much. I have so much more to share with you guys on this journey of trying to be the best bodybuilder I can be while also the best mountain athlete. And what that really means. And I know I can do it all. I'm gonna show you how I do it. I'm gonna be the most jacked guy on Everest. With that being said, guys, like this video, and please leave a comment down below what type of stuff you want to continue to see. I'm going to talk about a whole lot of stuff, but drop in the comments below what you want to see from this series, what you want to see from me, and then we're going to see you in the next video. So peace out and be uncommon.